This is a very interesting piece of travel equipment, which was also used domestically. It was marketed as being very useful domestically. But the question is, what exactly is it? Well, in its packed down form, which you can see is very slender and really quite small, it's very difficult to tell. We can see that there's bolts here and little tiny bun feet and carrying handles and serrated edges here, here, here and here. But what is it? Well, I'll set it up in a minute and show you exactly what it is. But for those who have watched our videos before, here's a clue. This is a similar one that we've done a previous video on, but it's wall mounted, whereas this one is freestanding. Well, let's speed up the camera a little bit and show you how it all sets up for use. Well, now as you can see it set up, you can see how the shape dramatically changes, and you have got 4 rows of serrated edge, 2 on either side, 2 levels, with these support bars in between the 2 ends, which are bolted on and hold it all together. So the serrated bars have got a pair of pins at either end, which when packed down fit into these holes here, and these support bars, which are bolted in, are then bolted into these holes here with the bolts holding it all together, and the 2 ends, one turned opposite the other, to pack down very, very neatly. So it's a very well considered design for how it's going to pack down into the smallest space possible. But you're probably still wondering what it's for. Well, it's a Platt shoe rack or boot dryer. It was good for both. And luckily, with this pair of shoes here, I can show you how it works. So the heel hooks on to the serrated edge to grip, and the shoes hang. If you've got boots, then they go in the same way, and the length of the boot, which fits over your calf, points out. And so it was also described as being useful for drying boots, because you could aim this at the fire, the heat would get into the interior of the boots and drive them out nicely for you. And this is a McDonald's patent shoe rack, which was made to hang on the wall, and Platt's of St Martin's Lane would have either bought the patent off McDonald's or paid them royalties and made this. And then they developed this example, which they described as improved, which also suggests that it's later in date than this example. And in fact, what I'm going to do is read out their advert to you, which describes perfectly how they saw it being used. And the full title they gave it was the Improved Patent Portable Folding Boot and Shoe Stand and Dryer. And they advertised it in 1890, and this text is from an advert from that date. This has been found to be the most perfect article yet introduced, holding the largest number of boots in the smallest possible space, for the purpose of drying, as 16 pairs of gentlemen's or 24 pairs of ladies' boots can be placed before the fire at one time. The boots can be hung from the heel, or in the case of shooting boots, suspended by the waist, so that the water must run out. By means of this invention, the scorching or burning of boots placed before the fire is avoided. The stand takes to pieces and can be packed up in a minute, occupying only a space of 27 by 11 by 1.5 inches. In polished oak, mahogany or walnut, 21 shillings. Suggested by a practical sportsman. It is invaluable to officers in the army or navy, sportsmen or anglers. No shooting or fishing box, especially in the Highlands, should be without it. It will also be found most useful in country mansions and hotels. So you can see from the advert, they were basically saying this is a very useful invention for everyone. Take it on campaign, take it on board your naval ship, use it for shooting parties, country houses, hotels, etc., etc., etc. And all your boot drying issues will be solved. And it must have been a problem at the end of the 19th century, or else they wouldn't have come up with an invention like this. So this example is made of walnut. Going on the advert, we're going to date it to the late 19th century, and it was made by James Platt and Co. of St Martin's Lane. Each end has got one of Platt's stamps, but from the design we know it's him anyway. Unfortunately, they're both very worn. I'll bring it in, but they are very difficult to see. So my finger's at the top, just there. I'm just going to tip it in the light to hopefully make it easier for you to see. But it is very worn. And there's one on the other side as well. So, a Platt & Co. patent shoe and boot rack made of walnut and late 19th century.